Welcome to the Sunday School Reading Channel. If this reading is a blessing to you, please like, share, and subscribe. Our reading for May 21st, 2023 is entitled Breaking Down Barriers. The devotional reading comes from Isaiah chapter 60, verses 9 through 14, and background scripture, Acts chapter 8, verses 26 through 40. The print passage comes from Acts chapter 8, verses 29 through 40. Key verse, Acts chapter 8, verse 38. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 9 reads as follows. Surely the islands look to me in the lead of the ships of Tarshish, bringing your children from afar with their silver and gold to the honor of the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, for he has endowed you with splendor. Verse 10. Foreigners will rebuild your walls, and their kings will serve you. Though in anger I struck you, in favor I will show you compassion. Verse 11. Your gates will always stand open. They will never be shut, day or night, so that people may bring you the wealth of the nations, their kings led in triumphal procession. Verse 12. For the nation or kingdom that will not serve you will perish. It will be utterly ruined. Verse 13. The glory of Lebanon will come to you, the juniper, the fir, and the cypress together, to adorn my sanctuary, and I will glorify the place for my feet. Verse 14. The children of your oppressors will come bowing before you. All who despise you will bow down at your feet and will call you the city of the Lord, Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Background scripture, Acts chapter 8, verse 26, reads as follows. Now an angel of the Lord said to Philip, Go south to the road, the desert road, that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza. Verse 27. So he started out, and on his way he met an Ethiopian eunuch, an important official in charge of all the treasury of the Kandake, which means Queen of the Ethiopians. This man had gone to Jerusalem to worship. Verse 28. And on his way home was sitting in his chariot reading the book of Isaiah the prophet. Verse 29. The Spirit told Philip, Go to that chariot and stay near it. Verse 30. Then Philip ran up to the chariot and heard the man reading Isaiah the prophet. Do you understand what you are reading? Philip asked. Verse 31. How can I, he said, unless someone explains it to me? So he invited Philip to come up and sit with him. Verse 32. This is the passage of scripture the eunuch was reading. He was led like a sheep to the slaughter, and as the lamb before his shearer is silent, so he did not open his mouth. Verse 33. In his humiliation he was deprived of justice. Who can speak of his descendants? For his life was taken from the earth. Verse 34. The eunuch asked Philip, Tell me, please, who is the prophet talking about? Himself or someone else? Verse 35. Then Philip began with that very passage of scripture and told him the good news about Jesus. Verse 36. As they traveled along the road, they came to some water, and the eunuch said, Look, here is water. What can stand in the way of my being baptized? Verse 38. and he gave orders to stop the chariot. Then both Philip and the eunuch went down into the water, and Philip baptized him. Verse 39. When they came up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord suddenly took Philip away, and the eunuch did not see him again, but went on his way rejoicing. Verse 40. Philip, however, appeared at Azotus and traveled about, preaching the gospel in all the towns until he reached Caesarea. I will end this broadcast by reading Psalms 1. Please read with me. Verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Verse 4. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Verse 5. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. Verse 6. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Thank you for listening. If this reading has been a blessing to you, please like, share, and subscribe. And until we meet again, may the Lord bless you abundantly.